Hello everyone, welcome back to SiGMA TV Africa. Today joining me is Mr. Adeleye Awakan. He's on top of things when it comes to the gaming industry. He is a consultant, he's a marketing strategist, he's an author, a freelancer, a content writer for EplayAfrica. Please help me to welcome Mr. Adeleye.
Thank you very much, Charity. I really appreciate for the introduction, and I really appreciate to be here to welcome to be on SiGMA TV interview today. I really appreciate. Thank you very much.
Okay, so Ade, you are on ground currently. You are in Nigeria. You are live from Nigeria. I'm talking to you from Lagos. What are some of the challenges the gaming industry is facing currently? You would know because you're currently there. So what are some of the challenges gaming industry as a whole in Nigeria is facing?
Yes, I will not want you to specify that question in Nigeria only. I want it to be in Africa.
Africa.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Africa.
Because Africa, it has huge potential, and one of the biggest challenges investors and entrepreneurs face in Africa today is
because the reason why I specifically said we can obviously we can generalize Africa, but I do tend to see people categorizing Africa as the same. It's a different country. We have different countries, different regulations. So I don't want to risk people thinking of Africa as one. So when I say Nigeria, I was very specific about, obviously there is, in general, the whole of Africa is still facing high cost of internet, for example. But yes, you can tell me specific to Nigeria, you can tell me specific to Africa as a whole, so that people can keep in mind that there can be different, it might be similar, but it can still be different when it comes to challenges faced in the whole continent.
Yes, like, for example, Nigeria now, some of the challenges they still face today is regulation. Just like the example I cited earlier on regarding Lagos and Federal.
Yeah.
There's still some tussles there, whereby entrepreneurs who want to come to the industry would think of getting a license from Federal, and would think of, okay, I want to operate in Lagos as well. And it's quite expensive. You coming to getting a Federal license and you want to get state license from Lagos State, for example, it's quite expensive, and it's not viable for any business individual. So some rather go for either one. Let me go for the state, or let me go for the Federal license. So depending. So these are some of the things we need to separation of powers. I think the matter is already in the Supreme Court of Nigeria. They are trying to separate the powers among each other. If you have a Federal license, you can operate in Lagos, and if you have a state license, you can operate. If you have Lagos state license, fine, you can only operate in Lagos. So these are some of the things they are trying to iron out at the Supreme Court of Nigeria. So we don't need no decision yet, but actually it's still in the courts. So I can't say much on that for now. So for Africa, if you look at Africa as a whole, if you look at some regulators in Africa, if you check their website, some of the challenges, some investors want to come, there are limited information on their website. For example, you go to some websites that are not up to date. There are no up to date information about the regulations and things like that. So, which are some of the things investors and entrepreneurs face? For example, tax is also one of the challenges. Some operators only focus on the tax aspects, and the market. Some of these companies are still growing up, and Africa, we have small players. What I mean by small players, we have people placing bets with small amount of money, and a situation whereby operators are not making the amount which they are meant to make when it comes to their GGR, and you expect them to pay an FT tax of 20%, 25% of their GGR. When you look at the cost and maintenance for them, it's also a huge challenge. Unlike the European market, whereby you see players with somebody can place a bet with 100 euro, 200 euros, but it's not like that in Africa. You see players place bets with just 100 naira, for for example, in our currency, which is a little bit, it's not even up to $1. People place bets, and you see multiple bets in Africa. Actually, you don't see people placing bets with huge sum of amount of money. So these are some of the challenges regulators need to balance when it comes to tax aspects. And and again, other challenges which I think Africa needs to look into is when it comes to the areas of offshore betting companies. For example, offshore betting companies targeting players from Africa, which are some of the things regulators need to look into. If it's a way of censoring the internet in Africa, some countries in Africa, so you don't see betting companies from Malta targeting players in Nigeria, for example, which are some of the challenges people that come to get a local license in certain countries.
Oh, yes.
So
That's very valid. That's a very valid point.
yeah,
So to summarize what you just said, you're saying that because Nigeria has various state level license and then taxes, or you have to get license from state level, and then you have federal level, it can be too expensive, especially, let's say, for small businesses that are trying to get into the market. It might be okay for bigger businesses that are well established elsewhere, but for small ones, this will come as a challenge to them. But then also, you mentioned something about offshore companies that have, this robust system that they have to target countries in Africa. So therefore, they earn money, they make revenue, they make money from other countries, and these local companies that are wishing to get licensed, they do not have, they are not having the permission, or the taxes are too high, or the bureaucracy is too long to break through. So there's a way other people bypass it by other offshore companies are bypassing all this and earning money from wherever they are around the world. Yes. So this, yes, I agree with you 100% on that, and I hope, yes.
Which is one of the issues we face, and which it's also killing the industry. It kills the and it kills the industry as well for local companies established in that certain country.
Yeah. So we're going to wait for when I'm looking forward to hear when the outcome, the final judgment will come regarding this case that you say has been put forward to challenge this various licenses that you need. So let me ask you, did you hear of this recent ban from the central bank to all financial institutions? What are the reasons behind the Apex Bank directive to stop banks and fintech companies from processing crypto in Nigeria?
Yes, actually, let me start with, the CBN recent ban is not something that just started recently, newly. There has been a circular in 2017 which the CBN sent to all banks that virtual currency is not a legal tender in Nigeria. So they've already issued a warning to all these banks and fintech operations in Nigeria that virtual currency is not a legal tender in Nigeria. So now what the CBN just did recently is just like implementing that letter sent in 2017 by taking a drastic action towards that. So I think that is just the whole issue concerning the crypto ban. So, and some of all these things which were raised for them to recently implement such actions is because, one, they realized the FX is not coming the way it's supposed to be to the traditional banking sector. For example, Nigerians at diaspora, whenever they want to send money directly to their loved ones here, previously they used the banking sector, whereby the banking sector gets FX in terms of commission. But now Nigerians at diaspora stop using such platforms, stop using traditional banking. They rather go for crypto. So they send money directly to, once you have a crypto account, they send money directly to Nigeria, which is cheaper, faster. So they realize the banking sector is not more generating such amount FX in terms of FX revenue. So same goes to, they are also raising the solution when it comes to corruption, money laundering. Nigerians down here are also purchasing Bitcoin and using it to transfer money directly outside without, just because, basically because blockchain, the blockchain decentralized process whereby you couldn't detect who is sending the money and who is receiving the money. So it's more secured. So it becomes an issue for the CBN to trace, and the level of corruption in Nigeria is high. So let us look at the other aspect which has become an issue now, is for them to ban the crypto processing, is remittance. You know, so many Nigerians here have their kids in abroad, in terms of financing their education and things like that. Instead of the Nigerians to use the traditional banking sector to process money directly to their kids to pay their school fees and things, they rather use other alternative by buying Bitcoin and sending it directly to their kids. So they are evading that tax aspect, evading the traditional banking sector. A situation whereby Yellow Card, for example, and some other crypto platforms are, are doing transaction of 1.5 billion USD for 2020 alone. It becomes a concern for the CBN, because they know the banking sector is going to collapse. So they were able to detect some of this, and which is, Nigeria now is one of the countries that adopted Bitcoin globally. Yes. So it becomes a concern for the CBN when it comes to that remittance. They realize most people are boycotting the traditional banking. They are using these crypto platforms to send money directly to loved ones abroad. Same likewise, Nigerians at diaspora are sending money
Diaspora. Yeah.
directly.
Okay.
So
So you think it's like they are feeling threatened? The Central Bank of Nigeria is seeing that there are other alternative apart from using money, the regular traditional money that we know of. So they want to kind of put some, they don't want it to be a strong competitor, because a lot of Nigerians use Bitcoin. So this is why you think it's like to suppress this aspect, because the rest of the world, Bitcoin is gaining huge momentum. I don't know if you've seen tweets of Elon Musk speaking of it all the time. Like every time now, every week I hear something about him, or Tesla, putting it on Tesla. So yeah, this brings me to my next question. This is about South Africa, right? So recently we saw the authorities, the African Revenue Authority in South Africa, they're called SARS, is asking traders to make clear the reason why they are buying any digital assets. Is this a less dramatic approach compared to that of Nigeria, the stance the Central Bank of Nigeria took? What do you make of this?
yes, I think this South African aspect, I think, is more less drastic than the Nigerian aspect from banning it totally, because you can't take because Bitcoin is trending now, and I think for Nigerian government to ban it is not the right solution from my own perspective. So it's an investment, and it's creating jobs for so many Nigerians which are jobless, and it's also creating that digital economy mantra that Africa is clamoring for, whereby they want everything to go digital. So for the South African approach, I think it's quite understandable, because due to the blockchain decentralized nature, which you can't verify, and you can't also, it's more of less like people should declare their assets, declare what your process.
Right.
So I think it's more of a good approach than the Nigerian aspect, whereby banning it totally. So I think the Nigerian government
Yeah.
should reconsider this ban rather than
So they should take a leaf out of South Africa's book, really.
of course,
For
expert to give them an insight on how to regulate this sector. Because as at last year, even this Nigerian Security Exchange Security Commission, SEC, has shown interest in regulating this sector, digital currency in Nigeria. Not until the CBN just came up with their circular, like, we are banning totally all crypto, all fintech processors stop processing this virtual currency. So I think it's more of a less approach from the South African party. I think it's better that way. I think Nigeria should follow in that footstep.
I agree with you. Now let's come back to you, Mr. Ade. So when I was doing our introduction of you, I mentioned you wore so many hats in the industry. You are a marketing strategist. You are a writer for ePlay, and you are a lead content writer actually for ePlay. So let me ask you, all these years you've been writing as a content writer, also you are an author. What's one of your favorite stories you've covered till date, and is it funny? What has inspired? What's this story that you say was a good story that you've covered in your years of writing for EplayAfrica?
Yes, I think there are so many stories I've written, and which
something funny, something inspiring. I want to hear something that you would pick as the top one. Yes, tell me.
Yes, for me, I think one of my articles that I've written over the years was when I did a research on Cameroon. So I think I wasn't sure about Cameroon, because when I later discovered the potentials in Cameroon, I was like, wow. So is this how Cameroon? Because so many people is not really talking about the industry. Cameroon is one of the highest smartphone penetration in Africa. I saw it in West Africa. So
in West Africa, yeah.
Yes. So they've gotten a huge penetration because they have a small population, and the level of internet penetration, smartphone penetration is very high in Cameroon. So I think it's one of the most articles I've written in recent time, which I found passion, and I was very, very happy knowing that Cameroon has one of the highest mobile penetration in Africa, in West Africa. So it really inspired me that doing research is good when it comes to,
okay.
Yeah, so it really inspired me.
It was lovely to have you join us here at SiGMA TV Africa, Mr. Ade. It's so nice that you gave us so much insight. You have this wealth of knowledge talking about gaming industry and a little bit of blockchain as well. And I can't wait to meet you at the SiGMA Festival. That will be the first one that will be happening face-to-face, a physical one. And till then, keep safe. And guys, thank you for joining us today here at SiGMA TV Africa. My name is Charity, and stay safe and see you soon. Bye.